Hello and welcome back to some more Apex Online Racing highlights. Today we are in Hanoi for the Vietnam Grand Prix, and as you see in the background, this is a lap I did in practice. I thought I'd just show this at the start of the video. It'll show what I can do in qualifying. So this is what you see in the background. But yeah, Vietnam, I did a fair bit of running because it took a long time to get used to this track. It's probably one of the tracks that is the most difficult to not hit the walls. What I found probably worse than Monaco, if I'm going to be honest. Yeah, it took a lot of getting used to the way you have to take some of the corners, and some of the lines are very different to what I've been used to before. So yeah, it was looking promising. I just see at the end of this lap I think I do a 32.0. A 31.9 was definitely possible on like a perfect lap. But yeah, I mean, throughout most of practice it was sort of low 32s the majority of the time, which was, I thought, fairly good, and the race pace as well was not bad at all. We'll come on this lap now to the last sector. The last sector I think was definitely my strongest sector. I don't know if the setup sort of leaned towards this last sector, but I really seemed to hook it well around the fast parts of the circuit. As you see, the delta got up quite a bit here, but yeah, we need to start getting a bit of a turning point. The first two races obviously of the season have not been great at all. There's always been something that's gone wrong to stop us from performing. So this definitely needs to be the turning point as we come across the line now on this lap. We'll do a 32.018. So that was a fairly good lap in practice anyway. But we're about to skip onto the actual session. It's going to be the full dry session. I've never seen a wet Hanoi race. That'll be very interesting when it is. We're coming across the line, or around the final corner now for our banker time in the qualifying session. It's 32.6. Wasn't an awful banker at all. It wasn't like pushing the most out of the car or anything. It was a bit lenient, but it was a decent enough. Obviously we go pole provisionally, but I highly doubt that will stay that way. We're on the second one now. As you can see, it's just been a terrible lap. 2.5 minutes down and we nearly lost it on the curb there, and that sort of ruined that one. So we go into the pits, and once again it's going to all be on our final lap. We've dropped down to P7 now, but yeah, it's going to be all on our final run in qualifying again, as it usually ends up being. Just give us the final run now. Let's just hope we can shave a few temps off, get sort of a 32.3 would be nice. Hitting turn 1 nicely, that was fairly good. Make sure you hug over this curve on the right hand side. Take this quite tight. You don't want to think you take it a lot quicker, but tight line seems to work well. This corner's really hard. It's so easy to hit that wall on the exit, but we do gain a little bit of time. I think this first sector split's going to be a 25.1, so it's not amazing, but it's not awful either. You can definitely still get a good lap time out of this. Going into this really annoying chicane, you have to absolutely obliterate the curves. I didn't quite do it enough that time compared to the ideal line. We lost a slight bit of time. We gained a bit on the exit. We're slightly down this time now, heading down this really long straight. The last sector I think on my banker was where I struggled the most. I think I did a 0.5 when I can normally do 0.2s or 0.1, so that was definitely where I gained the most time. Heading into this braking zone, this is a really difficult corner. It might just look like a hairpin, but you can gain or lose a lot of time there. It's interesting to note as well that a lot of people who are doing slipstream down the big straight, we opted not to, as we get a bit of oversteer on the curb, and that's sort of ruined our lap quite a lot. We're 2 times down now, but I knew definitely we could still gain that time back in the second to last corner alone. Gain a little bit in the middle sector, but again, it's just not been ideal. We've not been pushing that hard, and we opt to come into the pits at the end of that. We saw we're in P9 and thought the alt strat might be good, and thankfully, lucky us, we get P11, so we're in prime position for the alternate strategy for the race. And as you probably know now, the alt strat is ridiculously good, and from this position there's a very, very, very good chance of a podium, if not like getting close to a win. So I was quite confident in my race pace, and I was quite confident that I could definitely move forward in the race. We've just got to be patient at the start on the medium tyres and see where we can go from there. But burn up to the 5 red lights now. The 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights all come on and go out. And once again, it's been a little bit too much wheel spin on the start. And we've got Caden up our inside. I think we're 3 wide at this point, and the first time anyone's done this hairpin in this game on this track, so it's always going to be a little bit messy. We sort of end up off the track slightly. We're side by side with Samu Bean, who we've lost out from on the start. We're still side by side. We have to back out here because he was always going to squeeze us into the wall. But he was definitely someone I wanted to be ahead of. I was trying to go up the inside now because he's usually not the fastest in the race, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't really practice or anything. As we go up the inside now into the annoying chicane, he's still there on our inside, trying to force us out wide. He doesn't want us to be there. We have to back out on the exit, otherwise we'd have been in the wall. But again, we'll deploy all our overtake mode here just to try and get ahead. We want to be near the front of the Ulstrat runners. We were in 11th prime position, but we lost to be on the start. We need to get past Samu here so we can be second to Liam on the Ulstrat. We do get through, which is really nicely. Braking nice and deep here. We do get a tap from behind, and then we end up hitting Liam from Samu, who forces wide and then gets alongside us again. So he's now alongside us, coming into the right-hander. We should have the advantage here, being on the right-hand side. Braking nice and late, hopping over the curve, but he's still there on the outside, annoyingly. And we have to back out here because you can't go side by side at this point. So we are now stuck behind Samu, which is really annoying. I really didn't want to be there, but we have to deal with what we've got. There's still a very, very good opportunity of a podium from here. We know we've got the pace at this circuit, so we can definitely move forwards. It's just a matter of time. When the DRS comes in, we'll definitely have a good chance. But for now, we've just got to sit here, trying to get any wing damage, which is so easy to do at a track like this. And as we go really deep into turn one, that was a mistake. But yeah, just trying to get used to it. We haven't done any running at all on the Alt Strat, so I've not even used these medium tyres at all in practice. As Samu Bean hits the wall, loses a bit of his front wing, and now I really do need to get past because I'm going to lose so much time behind him if he's got damage. You need to get a really nice run through the chicane to get close enough. Look at that, how much curve you can take there and not get a warning. It's absolutely crazy. But trying to get close now. We should have a lot more downforce through this section, as he has got obviously he's got half a front wing. But what are we back now? 3 attempts back. He's using all his overtake mode, so we can't really get close enough to make a move. So we're gonna annoyingly have to sit back for now and just hope he's not too slow in the last sector, which is where I think we will have the biggest advantage. We always seem to be quite good on the brakes here, though that was very late. You can see the gap to Liam is 1.8 seconds. Let's just see what it is after this last sector. We need to try and get through here as well as possible, and I think you'll see Sammy really struggling through this last sector. It's obviously where we're quite strong, but you can see through these corners, look how much time we're gaining. We really need to clear this guy, trying to take some alternate lines to try and see if we can get around him, but he just peel off into the pit lane, which is really nice for our race to get out of the way. But as you can see, we've got a lot of understeer, nearly hitting the wall. I think we missed a gear change there, which is why we lost so much. But you can see the gap now to Liam, 3.1 seconds, so we've lost quite a lot of time. But it's now about dialing in and trying to catch up to Liam. We do catch him slightly on this lap, but then we've got Air on the back of us trying to make a move. He seems to like to use a lot of his overtake mode, and we do just fend him off around up the inside line into the braking zone. I think at this point I thought I had better pace than Air. I knew I was catching Liam, so I thought I don't really want Air to get through because I think we'll just lose time. And again, you see the gap now, look to Liam, 2.4, so we really are catching, but it's just annoying. We've got Aero trying to go around the outside once again. He doesn't quite manage to do it, but I really just want to catch up to Liam and to get some DRS myself so I can save some ERS in that and we can get back in the proper lead fight. But unfortunately we've got Aero quite close to us, and I think we'll skip on to lap 8. I think this time I just let him go because I just didn't want to lose any more time fighting him. If he thinks he's faster and we can go ahead, then so be it, let him push and I'll sit behind. And that is exactly what we are going to do. So we're in P5 currently on lap 8. Most of the front runners will be doing the soft hard strategy, pitting around lap 7, lap 8 and trying to stretch the hards to the end. The reason this alt strat's so OP is just because the hard tyres are quite slow. We skip on to lap 11 now, and we definitely had a lot better pace than Aero. As you can see, he's actually, in fact, Liam's disconnected, which is really unfortunate for him, but he was definitely losing time to Liam, so we definitely had a higher pace at this point. I think he realised that, which is why he allowed us back through. So we now do take the lead of this Grand Prix after everyone stops. I think the net leader is IGK Zach currently, who is 10.7 seconds behind. So if we can keep a good pace to our pit stop around lap 16, I think we've got a very, very good chance of a podium, if not a win. But skip to lap 14, and we've thrown it away. We've completely thrown it away. we hit the wall on the outside, which is so easy to do. And that has not only ruined our pace, but it means that when we do come into the pits in a lap and a half's time, we're going to have to change our front wing, and we're just going to lose so much time. We will skip onto this straight on this very same lap. Aero obviously saw the end plate fall off, and he's going to make a move on us. We don't bother defending it because he's obviously going to be quicker, and there's no point losing any more time. But there's still a good chance in this race. The alt strat is that good that we can definitely, I reckon, still get near the top 5 even with the wing change. You can see the end lap 60 air is definitely pulled away from us. Yeah, we'll see where we come out. I think Caden behind us had front wing damage a couple of laps before that, so we'll see where he comes out relative to us, and we'll see the leaders go through now. I think Aero is looking very good now. He's going to come out around P8 or something, I think. So he's looking very good for a top 5. This is a painfully slow pit stop. 8.3 seconds with the wing change. And the painfully slow pitting speed as well, which you can just see everyone going past on the right hand side. Caden goes through. Even Liam's AI car goes through. I'm going to rejoin the track. The little sort of cuts turn 1 and 2 out on this pit lane exit can be quite deceiving of where you're going to come out of the pits, but we come out in P11 currently, so there's definitely a good chance of a few points. You can see we're 8 seconds behind Aero at this point, so we really need, if we've got a good pace, we can definitely still get a top 5 finish. We just need to clear, obviously, Caden on the hard tyres, which I'm pretty sure we'll do quite easily. These softs are far superior grip wise. I'm fairly sure he'll just let us through here anyway if we get the DRS, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to defend it or anything. I think we'll fly past. So other than Aero, I think Aero is quite close to the gap to the train for like P5 at the moment, so, and these soft tyres will be so much faster. You're talking nearly 2 seconds a lap faster than the hards at this very point, so we should be able to, in theory, you can see the gap to Blizzard's 10.6. We should be able to catch that gap quite easily before the end of this race. So it's just about absolutely pushing for it now. We've got nothing to lose at this point because we've already thrown our race away with the damage. So we're going to come through this last sector now. We've got so much grip, and we turned in too early, and we ruined our race. Completely ruined it this time. I guess that's just a bit of not being used to having the soft tyres on at the end. There was so much grip. I mean, I turned in where I would do on the mediums, but unfortunately the amount of grip we had just was too much, and we obviously didn't understeer as much as we normally do. But that was the end of that one then. Just comes to the last lap. We do somehow get a point despite having half a front wing. And once again, it's a race that could have been as Bahrain was really. Without the damage, we definitely could have got high up. I think Aero was fighting for the lead, but he got into a bit of incident. But yeah, I mean, the pace is there, so that's what we can take. That's a good positive from this. The pace was definitely there. We'll just keep sticking with it, and eventually we hope we can get a good result in. Next week is the Chinese Grand Prix. Usually go quite well there as well, so we shall see what happens. But until then, thank you very much for watching. I know it's been depressing AOR races the first 3, but hopefully the results will turn around. But until the next time, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.